is Cadma here from Bit and Apple TV. We are here at a video game con and we are going nuts and crazy over video games. But first, we're going to talk with Cody James. I fell in love with the booth because I love Boo. Boo is actually my favorite character. Oh my God, tell me about how long you've been doing your art and what style did you start with first? Because you have many styles here.
Yeah, so I want to clarify that because yes, obviously I do a lot of fan art, but I also do a lot of original work too. So very recently I started doing conventions, so I decided to separate the two, doing original work and fan art. So I've been doing the convention circuit for about 2 years, but I've been painting for about like 10 years. So I'm kind of new to this circuit, but I'm definitely, I would say, pretty confident in my artistic abilities. In terms of my art in general, I never really had a definitive style, nor did I really want one. I've always had a lot of ideas in my head and they never really go away until I do something about it. So that's sort of my approach to my artwork. So yeah, it's always going to be random. I kind of roll with that now.
I think that's the best way because if you're not an artist, they don't understand like, well, what is it that comes to mind? Like the voices talk to me, like I'm not crazy, but they're there and they're like, draw me, write me, sing about me. You're like, okay, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. What else do you want?
And then accepting that and working with that, basically. And doing that helps you create your own voice, I feel like, if you kind of go down that rabbit hole. So I think that's a good way to be.
It's a fun rabbit hole. It's not like the one that Alice went down. That was an intense.
Go anyway. There's a lot of angles, especially nowadays. You got the internet. This is a whole new circuit that a lot of artists don't realize, and especially the video game ones, I think are up and coming. So now is a very interesting but exciting time to do this. So yeah. So
you said you've been painting for 10 years. Oh my God! Like, are we talking like Monet? Like, what are we talking here?
I mean, I went to art school, I graduated a couple years ago and all that good stuff, but really, I guess why this kind of looks like this, I like doing a lot of graffiti type work. So I think that urban aesthetic kind of feeds off into this. So it kind of has a little bit of that charm to it. So that's what I like about doing both styles, they feed off each other. Because if you notice, I do the ballpoint pen drawings, I'm also going to incorporate that aesthetic in my original work too. So that I kind of like how I have these two categories that bounce off ideas off each other.
You have a very beautiful blend, I do have to say. Oh my God, I'm loving these fatality heads.
Something for all age groups. So like, again, going to multiple styles, I like to do stuff that's creepy, cute, crude, doodles, realistic, everything in between. I think that's the way to be. Okay,
so my next question for you is that when it comes to your original work, you have to have a character or some character like that's in your mind that's constantly like, Cody, let's do this again. Who would you say is the most prevalent one in your artistic world?
Like a known character or one that I made up?
No, one of yours. I want to know more about your work, yes.
So I do character-based graffiti stuff, but then I also do like other types of paintings like realistic portraitures or hand gestures. In terms of characters, like I do these recurring characters that kind of like are representative of like 1930s cartoons, like old Disney, and I kind of give them like a creepy charm to them. So they all kind of have, I don't know if there's really one definitive one yet, but there's a group of them. So what I do is I go to these like abandoned areas where I grew up and I kind of spray paint them because I think they fit in that atmosphere. So it kind of creates a narrative for them. That's sort of how I go about it.
Wait, where? Because now I want to see.
I'm not from here.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York, specifically Long Island.
Yes.
Yeah, New York born and raised. No offense to Jersey, I like Jersey, but I'm just saying. But unfortunately, there's not so many places like that anymore. So I have one that is like very special to me. So I always go there, and a lot of other people do. So a lot of people find me through my work there, and some people paint on them and add stuff to it. So it's actually a lot of fun. Kind of a surprise every day. So.
That's absolutely wonderful. Now, in regards to your fan art, I mean, you've gone from like Marvel, we got Link, we got Mario. I mean, there's Kirby, Mega. Oh my God, there's so much, and the ice cream. Yeah.
That was one of the first series I did in terms of fan art, was the popsicles, because whenever I do something in fan art, I'm like, well, what's a different approach or twist that I could put on it that not many people will do, or that will make me stand out? And no one really does the popsicles, but yet that has affected everybody's lives in one way or another in a very messed up way.
Yeah, everyone remembers those days. Just like,
yeah.
Did you drop the gum? I dropped the gum.
Yeah. The flavorless gum is a great flavor, and I just find it. I've been doing at least over 20 cons, and everybody has had the same story with those, and I find that very interesting. It is 100% across the board that they're always messed up, always melted. It's gonna take it.
The Sonic Popsicle is the best one, don't at me.
Yeah, it is, because that's the first one I did, so that's the most iconic, hands down. Yeah, no, he's right about that. Absolutely. Yeah.
So out of all of these characters, what is your favorite fan thing to create? Could be video game, show, comic, I don't care. What would you say is your favorite fan art to create?
Fan art style or character? Character. I don't know why, but growing up I was always like a Kirby fan. Like that was my dude. I don't know. He was just my guy. So if you could see, I have a little bit of an obsession with Kirby, but there's a reason behind it. Like I wanted to do something special for Kirby. So if you kind of look to the right, there's like a million Kirbys, but the idea is though, he comes in a lot of different colors, so I flipped it and gave it like a pop art aesthetic. So the idea is to have a bunch of Kirbys on one wall and give it like an Andy Warhol type of aesthetic to it. So. Oh
my God, I'm loving that. Now I'm just curious, since you do so much, are you doing comic strips? Are you, oh, I saw the face, you're like, I've either considered it or you're about to tell us. Which one is it?
I wouldn't say I'm like a comic illustrator, but ironically enough, like I did a convention in Brooklyn and someone from Marvel like hired me to do some drawings for them. So it was like, that was a learning curve. But again, it just proves to show you don't know who you're gonna meet at these things. But I would never consider myself like a comic illustrator. I guess I'm more like a graffiti artist, more of a graphic artist, more pop art. But I just have elements of comic book in my work. You
just have it all. You have it very beautifully blended, I have to say.
A lot of color, I like a lot of color, a lot of different styles, feel every nook and cranny, because they give you only so much space, but I work with what I get. And, but now, I think I have a pretty good body of work, so I want to get into like shirts and pins, so that's...
God, yes, please. I would wear a Fatality head t-shirt in a minute.
That might come. The first shirt would be like my Mood Boo shirt, so it'd be like 16 of these on one shirt. Then I would do Pokemon shirts of like my starters with like a random name associated with the shirt. So like you have like the Squirtles and it would just say blue underneath, or you have Bulbasaur and it will just say plants. So people know what type it is, so you know, always learning. And so that's sort of where I am now. But mind you, I'm doing this while working on my original stuff too, because I'm still trying to keep that up afloat. So it's definitely a lot of work.
Okay, so for those who obviously need to keep up with you, they want to see t-shirts like like myself, where can they keep track of you, see what's going on, and see also what you're doing with your original work as well?
Yeah, so most of my stuff that I like do updates on is my Instagram. I have two Instagrams, because like I said, I divided my work. My fan art one is at Cody James by Cody, and my original Instagram is at Johnny Flid.
What's the story behind that name? Now I need to know.
It's an old name, and I'm gonna change it because when I first started doing art, I was more into graffiti and street art, so I was doing stuff, let's just say, that wasn't strictly legal, but that was my early beginnings. So
he was referring to a fictional character. He is not by law associated with anything else. Continue.
Yes, thank you for covering that up. I appreciate that. And so that's sort of the story behind that. But my real name is Cody James, so that's what I go by. And you can find me on those two accounts. That's where I do most of my new works, new updates, all that good stuff. And yeah.
Oh my God, you guys have to definitely keep up, and I do want to see those t-shirts. I need Boo on my t-shirts. That's like my character, because I feel like that's exactly who he is. I grew up with like watching horror movies and stuff, and I just like the fact that he follows behind you and it's just like,
So yeah,
that's all I love.
I took that idea and just added more moods to it. So now you have a specific mood you can relate to.
It's perfect. It's like the description of me. If you guys want to get an idea what my face looks like 24/7, just follow this. Thank you so much, Cody James. It's been wonderful interviewing you. You have a very unique style, and I love how you're blending in a lot of different styles and then yet making them extremely unique per photo, from the Fatality heads to Kirby to Pikachu back there. Oh my God, and the popsicles, of course, those are my favorite.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
And cut.